XRP is no longer a security. We will talk about XRP. We also have even more breaking news from last night, which was, I think, like we posted 9 hours ago. In 9 hours' time, we have even more breaking news. So I want to dive into all of that and much more on today's breaking news update video for XRP and Bitcoin once again. So thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for yesterday destroying the like button. It's very much appreciated. This morning, I did wake up and actually some people woke up sadly, and I made them the case that look, 731 people destroyed the like button, so it was worth making that video. Thank you all so much. Guys, before we jump into the breaking news, if you want to claim a completely free $1,000 equivalent worth of an Ethereum position, you can do so right now by going to the link down in the description below. Click it. It will take you to Weeks, which is where we're trading our cryptocurrencies. You will be forwarded to this campaign page. All you have to do is sign up. I already logged in and then logged out, but for you, if you're a new user, it's going to work. You just need to click the sign up button, and then there will be some steps down below for you to go ahead and claim that $1,000 Ethereum position. If you want to have a full tutorial video on how you can claim it, it's the second link in the description down below as well. And I'm very bullish on Ethereum. We will get into Ethereum. Ethereum also pumped last night. Let's jump into the Bitcoin news, then we'll go into XRP, then we'll do our TA on other altcoins. And I apologize for the crickets if you can hear them in the background. It's just, yeah, they go crazy, sadly. Okay, President Trump, on top of the 401k bill, he also signed a second executive order for the benefit of crypto last night. This will disable banks to unjustly discriminate against firms and individuals dealing with cryptocurrencies. So President Trump is reducing the amount of banks that just don't want to deal with firms and individuals that deal in cryptocurrency. He's basically banning them from doing that, so he's increasing the amount of people that can potentially buy into crypto. He's increasing bank acceptance, therefore increasing legitimacy of our asset class. Fantastic, fantastic news. Great stuff for the long term. Then President Trump has appointed a brand new Fed governor. You saw that somebody left last week in the Fed board, and temporarily until that they choose another person going into Q1 of 2026, President Trump has appointed a pro-Bitcoin individual to the Fed board. His name is Stefan Miran, and in 2023 August, so 2 years back exactly almost, he posted "Bitcoin fixes this," and even made a joke about the Bitcoin ETFs and how he couldn't go as much as he wanted into them. But it's really crazy. So Bitcoin Bull now is sitting officially on the Fed board. David Sachs, the crypto czar, he posted last night on Twitter saying that the 401k investor executive order will allow more than 90 million American workers whose retirement accounts are currently limited to access the same range of alternative assets, including digital assets that are available to government workers for better returns and diversification. This is also massive. I think it's almost as big as the ETF news, because there's about $9 trillion sitting in these 401ks, and people buy into the things they buy in with the 401ks to invest for the long term. They don't plan on selling. And I think the cryptocurrency that will see the most major impacts will be Bitcoin, because it's the least risky and least volatile out of all of the cryptocurrencies, and 401ks tend to go for those kind of assets. So I think Bitcoin will see a very good push in terms of inflows over the next few years. When you look into who actually provides these 401ks, the largest provider of the 401ks is Fidelity Investments. They have their own Bitcoin ETF, FBTC, and I think that helps a lot. Sadly, the number 2 place is Vanguard. They're still completely against Bitcoin, but at least Fidelity, with 17 million people, have their own Bitcoin ETF, the second most successful ETF, and I think they will be pushing that to their 401k clients. And finally, for Bitcoin, the White House posted a 200-day roundup of all of their achievements in AI dominance, which includes mostly crypto stuff, was also published on Twitter, so great stuff. The government, the administration is still pushing Bitcoin massively. When we go into the price of Bitcoin, last night we jumped all the way to 17,500. Now we're down to 16.627. We are at some resistance on price action, so completely understandable, but overall the bullish outlook is still there. What has happened to XRP, guys? XRP Army, I just want to congratulate you, because after so many years of battles with the SEC, thanks to the brand new SEC administration, thanks to the Project Crypto that's Paul Atkins basically rolled out, the SEC and Ripple have officially brought their nearly 5-year legal saga to a close. You can see that James K. Fillon, I believe he's with Ripple. He may not be, but he's a defense lawyer, it says. The SEC Gov versus Ripple That case is now over because the parties have filed a joint dismissal of the appeals. He says the case is over. Why is it important for the price of XRP? We jumped like 10 to 13%, and now we're sitting back at almost all-time highs. Why does Ripple have anything to do with XRP? Well, Ripple controls 46% of XRP. And look, you guys know my thoughts about Ripple. You guys know my thoughts about XRP. I don't want to get into too much detail with them because I want this moment to be a moment which the XRP army can truly enjoy. So congratulations, XRP price is doing well, and I will leave it at there for the benefits of everyone. But I do have some, I think, arguably better news because, look, IBITS has become the most successful ETF in history. The Ethereum AETF, the BlackRock Ethereum ETF, also doing incredibly well. And it looks like BlackRock could have been waiting for this case to be over to start filing their ETF. So we could be seeing a BlackRock XRP ETF in the next coming weeks, and that could bring XRP's price over $4. So just FYI to the XRP army, this could be what BlackRock was waiting for, this case to be over to then say, okay, now XRP is classified as not a security officially, and we can go ahead with ETF. That would be fantastic for price action. And before we end off, looking at Ethereum, Ethereum is doing so well. We're back over 3.9K for Ethereum. In the past few hours, Sharplink Gaming has bought another 21,959 worth of Ethereum. Unbelievable. But Vitalik says that Ethereum treasury companies broaden ETH access to wider investors. However, warns the trend could become an over-leveraged game if not handled responsibly. And I agree, because Ethereum will go into a bear market. And once that happens, it's not going to be so nice. But in the short term, I think that Ethereum, the only level we should care about is 4,000. If we can break above it, which I think we will, I think we can head into the 5.7 all the way to $8,000 for the price of Ethereum. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity to claim your $1,000 free Ethereum trade and start opening positions and keep all the profits to yourselves. Guys, gold hit a brand new all-time high because the US has tariffed 1 kilo gold bars officially. And I just want to remind you that nobody can tariff Bitcoin. You can tariff gold bars, but you can't tariff Bitcoin. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you all on a brand new CryptoKit updates later on, probably in the nights, and on the Moon Show. But enjoy your Friday, and I'll see you all very soon. Take care, guys, and as always, bye-bye.